Fox class. Sam's gone invisible and Hilda's panicking. Love it. What's going to happen? Chapter 17. That night, Hilda couldn't sleep. She was walking up and down in the lounge when a picture came off the wall right in front of her, and a china dog started to move across the mantelpiece. Sam was having fun. "Is that you, Sam?" she said in a shaky voice. Sam didn't answer. Splodge, who was also invisible, was tickling her leg. She let out a scream, and Ernie came in yawning. What he saw made his legs wobble in fright. A chair was floating round the room. "That's not right," said Ernie. "I mean, chairs don't do that, do they?" And the chair dropped to the ground with a thud. "Of course they don't, you ninny," Hilda said, trembling. "You know, sweet pea," said Ernie, "I think this place might be haunted. I just felt a rush of cold air." And the lounge door closed with a bang. Hilda recovered herself. "Of course it's not haunted," she snapped, picking up a cushion and hitting out at thin air. "Take that, you little toe rag," she shouted, but Sam and Splodge had left and were safely out of the way in the shed. "I like being invisible," said Sam. "The only drawback is it's chilly without your clothes on." "Pish posh, you're supposed to come and go, not stay like that all the time," said Splodge. "The sooner we get a message home, the better." The CB radio was not working that well, mainly because it had been wired to the receiver the wrong way. It took Splodge some time to get it sorted. "Come on," said Sam. "I'm getting chilly out here." "Well, go back to the monster grotto then," said Splodge, "and make us something to fill up gurgling tummy." The radio was now making strange noises, and Splodge kept moving the knobs and listening. Then he started speaking in a language that Sam couldn't understand. Sam walked back towards the bungalow. The lounge looked as if a giant hippo had had hysterics. Hilda had finally gone to bed exhausted and was snoring like a battleship attacking her enemy. "The great thing about being invisible," thought Sam, opening the fridge and looking inside, "is that I don't feel frightened anymore. I have some power, and that is a truly wicked feeling." He poured out all of the milk there was into 2 glasses, made a pile of peanut butter sandwiches, and found the last bottle of tomato ketchup. "I've got a message home," said Splodge, becoming visible again. "They've heard of a sick grotta. In fact, it's caused quite a hullabaloo. Something is definitely stuck inside it. They're on their way out to it. Also, my mum says not to worry and to send you her toodle highs." "Oh, that's wonderful," said Sam. "So what will happen now?" "Mum and Dad want to say hi and talk to me again tomorrow. Also, I've got to tell them about the invisible problem," mumbled Splodge. "I'm sure my dad and mum can think of something." Chapter 18. The bungalow was unusually quiet the next morning. Hilda had taken the car into the village to do some shopping, and Ernie was in the shed playing with his radio. To his delight, it was working better than it had ever done before, picking up some very strange sounds. Sam and Splodge spent the best part of the morning in the lounge. Sam was still invisible, but today he was dressed. It was too chilly to walk about without your clothes on. They sat together on the beaten-up sofa, eating cereal out of the packet, watching whatever they wanted on TV. Ernie, who had been left with strict instructions not to let Sam out of his sight, kept coming in from the shed and saying, "You right then?" On one of these visits he was sure he saw a green spotty little fellow sitting next to Sam. But then again he might just be seeing things. He hadn't got his glasses on, and the next time he looked it had gone. About 2 o'clock the phone rang. Ernie picked it up. It was Maureen Cook from the Dreammaker Tours. She couldn't have sounded more helpful, and she said she'd be coming down to see Sam tomorrow to talk about his future. "That'll be nice," said Ernie, putting down the phone and telling Sam what she'd just said. "Do you think she'll recognise me?" asked Sam. "Oh dear," said Ernie. "Oh dear, I forgot you were invisible." Hilda was not in a good mood when she arrived home at tea time, weighed down by shopping bags. Her mood was not improved one bit when Ernie told her about Maureen Cook. She started rumbling like an old boiler ready to burst. "You are worse than hopeless, you pea-brain," she said to Ernie, who was looking very sheepish. "What are we going to show her? An invisible boy?" "Perhaps," said Sam, "if you were kind to me, I might become invisible again." "It's worth a try," said Ernie in a small shaky voice. Hilda said nothing, but banged and thumped around the kitchen, unpacking the shopping. "Ooh, that looks nice," said Ernie, seeing all the things Sam had asked for, including the 12 bottles of tomato ketchup. "Well, none of it's for you," she snapped at Ernie. "It isn't you that is invisible, more's the pity." She handed Sam a bag. "Put these on," she ordered. In it were a woolly balaclava, a pair of multicoloured gloves, a cheap pair of dark glasses, and, as a finishing touch, a pair of plastic joke lips. "What are these for?" asked Sam, laughing. "This isn't funny," said Hilda. "Just do as I say." When he saw himself in the hall mirror, he couldn't stop laughing. Oh, now he really did look scary, as if he were about to rob a bank. Roll on tomorrow, he thought. How was Hilda going to get out of this mess? Chapter 19. The reason, Sprodge said, that Sproddodites adored tomato ketchup was simple. It was the source of their good looks. It kept them young, healthy and wise. Also, growing tomatoes was unheard of on planet 10 Rings. It was only on Earth that the tomato could be transformed into the right stuff for aliens. "Have you been here lots of times then?" asked Sam. Sprodge looked down at his toes. "No," he said. "I have only been here once before with my dad. It was a short sort of a visit." It turned out that Sprodge was only about as old as Sam, and that this was the first time he'd travelled on his own to Earth. "I thought I would get my mum a present," said Sprodge sadly, "but it all went a bit star-shaped. I am only a junior space flyer. I start my AST course next year." "What's that?" asked Sam. "Advanced space travel," said Sprodge. "That's when we learn everything to do with space and all other things like gutters and orgbacks." Sam didn't like to ask. He had a nasty feeling he already knew the answer. "Have you ever used one of those invisible patches before?" he said. "No," said Sprodge. "Do you know what happens when one of those patches is put on a boy like me?" asked Sam. "No," said Sprodge, looking a little shamefaced. "They are only to be used when everything is wham-dangled." Sam was beginning to feel panicky. It was one thing to be invisible for a few days, but not forever. What if his parents came back? How would they know it was Sam if they couldn't see him? "Will I ever be visible again?" asked Sam anxiously. "Need to speak to Dad," said Sprodge. "I'm sure someone on 10 Rings will know what to do." But it was proving to be quite difficult to get a message home. Ernie had been fiddling again with the radio, and it took Sprodge ages to pick up a signal. And then he could hardly hear what they were saying, except for the odd word like "We'll have to try again tomorrow," said Sam, seeing the look on Sprodge's face. He was tired, and his bright green skin was losing its shine. "Bish Posh, I want to go home," he said sadly. "I miss my mum." "I know," said Sam. He took Sprodge back to the house, gave him a bottle of tomato ketchup and tucked him up in bed. "So do I," said Sam quietly. "I miss Mum and Dad very much indeed." Chapter 20. The next day the Hardbottoms were up early, cleaning and tidying the bungalow. Hilda put on her smiling face that she kept at the bottom of an old make-up bag and only used for special occasions. Ernie put on his one and only suit. The tea had been set out on a tray in the lounge and the curtains were drawn. Hilda had put Sam in an armchair with a rug over his knees, and when Ernie saw him sitting there in the balaclava and dark glasses and false lips, he jumped with fright. "Hilda," he said, "there's a strange man sitting in the armchair." "He wasn't there a moment ago. Did you let him in? He looks very scary." "That, you pea-brain, is Sam," said Hilda. When Maureen Cook arrived, she was rather taken aback by the Hardbottoms' idea of a holiday. The bungalow was seedy and smelt damp. "You could have taken yourself somewhere nice and hot," she said. "We would happily have paid." "Didn't want to look too greedy," said Hilda, smiling. "Not until all this is settled, so to speak." "Please remember," said Maureen, "Dreammaker Tours are here to make your dreams a reality." "I hope so," said Hilda, taking Maureen through to the lounge and placing her in the chair furthest away from Sam. Hilda handed her a cup of tea, a piece of cake, talking all the time like a car alarm that wouldn't stop, about how much they cared for Sam and how he enjoyed sitting in the dark wearing a balaclava. "It makes him feel very protected from the outside world. Grief," said Hilda, "can do strange things to one." "Please, Mrs. Hardbottom," said Maureen, "will you let me speak?" "Are you feeling all right, Sam?" she asked. "As I said," interrupted Hilda, "Sam is a bit shy." Sam nodded and mumbled, "I'm okay." "Do you like it here?" Maureen started. Hilda interrupted again. "These questions aren't too strenuous, are they?" she said, sounding concerned. "It's just that we care so much for the boy and want to protect him. After all, I'm not called the nation's favourite neighbour for nothing." "Quite so," said Maureen, bringing a picture of Sam out of her briefcase and going over to the window to draw back the curtains. "I would like to see your face, Sam, if you don't mind." "I do mind," said Hilda, rushing past her and standing in front of the window. "He has been through an awful lot. Why does he have to answer these questions? Isn't it enough he's here?" "I'm just doing my job, Mrs. Hardbottom," said Maureen wearily. This wasn't going to plan. She'd hoped to have this all sorted out in no time at all. "Treacle toffee," said Hilda, holding out a sweet tin. "I made it myself." Maureen smiled weakly. "Well, one piece of you insists, then I must ask Sam these questions." Sam watched the look of horror spread over Maureen Cook's face as her jaws slowly stuck together and she was unable to say another word. Hilda took her back to the chair farthest away from Sam. "Shall we talk about the money?" said Hilda, smiling charmingly. At that moment Ernie came into the room. "Wonderful news, Sweet Pea," he said. "The Star Shuttle has made contact with Earth. I just heard it on my CB radio. It looks like Mr. and Mrs. Ray will be coming home after all." "Hooray!" shouted Sam, sending a false pair of lips shooting across the room. Maureen looked startled, and Sam put his gloved hand across his mouth and said, "It's the best bit of news ever." A message from the Star Shuttle? Hilda's not going to be happy with Ernie. And what's Maureen going to do? Will her jaws ever unlock? Glad Sam's happy. I wonder what happens. See you next time.